can see her own name on a set of lumber being delivered. They did those fast. They made those trusses in 2 days. Well, I paid for them on Monday. It's Wednesday morning. Yeah, because I got to build the walls before I can put the trusses on.
I just trying to leave you enough room to get your car out there.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, that's great. All right, so here's the plan. That's the plan. I'll give you a better shot here, inset. And this end wall, this is where all those windows are going to go. And that's 20 feet, and these are each 10. And I verified that 2 of them are exactly the length of the wall. So we're going to lay this wall out as 2 10-foot walls, and they're symmetric about the center. So I can lay out one, flip it over. The only thing that changes really is the end of blocks over here. So I can lay both those walls out at once, and then I just got to flip where the blocks go that interface to the walls that run down this way. And these walls are going to be 8 foot. So there's 8 foot wall, 8 foot wall, 8 foot wall. And same down the other side. So the only difference here is that there's a door on that one and not a door on that one. So this is the tricky one, and I got to lay it all out with all the king studs and jack studs and headers and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably going to take me, to do that right, I'll probably redraw things 4 or 5 times before I get it right, but that's going to take me a little bit. Let's get this laid out. Well, there's one wall built. This is the most complicated pair. This end wall, because each 10-foot wall has 2 windows in it. So you got jacks and headers and all that nonsense. But first one's here, all done, all nailed up. Comes out square and straight, and the windows are the right size. That pair of long beams over there, that's the other pair. I marked tops and bottoms at the same time for both walls, so they're identical except for the blocks on the ends. And I can put those in the second part, go a lot faster than the first half, so I'm pretty excited. But rain and snow and freezing rain for the next 2 days, so I better cover all this up because I don't want it to get all that wet. See how dry I can keep it. Fortunately, I got a whole pile of plastic. That big black sheet that's down there, that's going on the floor. Alright, so one of the things I saw Adam Savage had that I had to have at some point was a T50 pneumatic stapler. Like, dude, this is awesome. So I need to be able to staple down all this plastic I'm going to put over here. I thought that's the perfect excuse to go buy one of these. Nice. Welcome to the 23rd of December in real winter. It was 50 here overnight. It's now about 24 5 and falling fast. It's going to be in the teens, which for Baltimore is pretty cold. I've enveloped all of my materials in plastic and tarps, and I just swept the top of that off to try and get any standing water off of the roof joists. So here, let me give you a view of what I did in order to try and, you hear the wind, it's really nuts. What I did in order to try and keep my deck dry. Probably not very effective, but hey, I had to do something. So here's my black plastic all over the deck. It's all stapled down, and I just broomed it off to try and get as much of the standing water off of it as I could. And I went down the basement, and there was a lot of standing water on the concrete floor, and I tried to get as much of that swept into the sump as I could before the sump line froze. You can see in some spots there's water hanging from the joists. This is as good as I could do. There's still some drips coming through, but there's so much wind and it's so cold I really can't do very much. And I think I'm better off leaving that plastic up there. You hear the sump is still running, and I'm worried that, well, I know that at some point this vertical line is going to get frozen. So I'm going to come back out and check it in a little while, and when it gets frozen you can really feel that it gets stiff. So as long as that stays not frozen and the outside stays not frozen, the water stays running. This little Harbor Freight sump pump has done great. As long as I can keep that running, I will. You can hear the water running in from under the. It's not actually running in from the black plastic drain lines. It's actually running in below that. So it's coming in from the stone layer underneath the concrete. So I'll let that drain as long as I can. But when that line freezes up, I'll need to unplug the motor to keep it from keep the motor from trying to pump against frozen line. That won't work very much. We do get some standing water in here. As you can see, I pretty much broomed it all up at this point, and there's a little bit that stands up here too. You can see it dripping there. So I tried to get as much off of this as I could, but it's 25 and 50 mile an hour winds outside, so I'm not going to do very much more today.